Marcus Paul, if you don't know who that is, good. It'd be very strange if you knew every prawn on earth by name. But he's the breakfast host of 2SM and also Escapee from District 9. He chugged his very overvalued 2 cents into Deputy Premier / bucket of vomit John Barilaro accusing me of racism. Find out why in this video. And now I see why he is the perfect host for a show whose target audience is people with dementia. As although he may not have it, he's definitely on their level. He contradicts himself at every point and is blissfully unaware of it. La 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 la.
I've never heard of this bloke, but I have to say I've sort of come across a little bit of his work, not knowing who he was on social media. Friendlyjordies. He's a bit of a YouTube sensation. In other words, he hasn't made it on mainstream television yet, or mainstream media, but that's okay. He's got a lot of followers, and he probably makes a fortune from it.
Ah, yes. My secret aspiration. Maybe getting 5 minutes on a random Tuesday to do a stand-up routine where I apologise for being a man the whole time on a channel that just went defunct. Stop rubbing it in! You think I haven't been offered mainstream gigs? You're living proof the bar's not that high, Marcus. I don't take those offers because I have a soul. And, you know, an audience, Mr. 2,000 likes on Facebook. Wow, Marky boy. That's more than some of my friends. I can see why you're the primetime host. Marcus Paul, almost a public figure.
He's a lefty. Okay, so that should tell you everything you need to know about Friendlyjordies. He's a...
And bam! 30 seconds in, painfully obvious he graduated from Charles Sturt as he'd be the pin-up boy of Chomsky's propaganda model if anyone knew who the fuck he was. Just to go through this one more time, anyone who uses dumb, broad buzzwords like left, right, progressive, conservative, instantly categorise them as moron. What do you mean by lefty? Could you mean that I'm opposed to the idea of Australia's unique ecosystems being needlessly destroyed so foreign agribusiness companies can suck our wealth out of our country to make an abstract figure in a Cayman Island bank account go, yeah, exactly. If you're not a fan of Mer's Global Investments business model specifically, you're a lefty. Guess that is all you need to know, prawny, which is why you correctly go on to ponder.
He's, and I don't know, maybe he's on his YouTube channel, he's auditioning for a gig with the ABC. Maybe he's eyeing off the project on Channel 10. Look, he'd fit right in. Absolutely, this bloke.
This is despite, in view of the video he's commenting on, a video called Don't Watch the ABC, where I paid out for 12 minutes straight. Now, Marcus, if you really did a deep dive and clicked over once, you'd see a video entitled Waleed Ali, Just Plain Awful. Gee, how you think I'm gonna go at the audition, Marcus? You think I should put that on my reel? Coming up next on the project, why I think all my co-hosts are deplorable sacks of shit. Oh, I can't wait! Shockingly, this sharp as a tack critic of life admits that...
I don't know. I'm in two minds here.
In relation to, is this voice offensive, yes or no? That means his brain divided into as many options as there are possible. That's what red pills this man. I'm supposed to hate cucks and love the coalition, but the coalition are cucks. What's a bloke to do? You've been living in a dream world, Marcus. You've been supporting cucks all along. You think that's based you're breathing? So cognitively split down the middle that he goes on to nullify a point he made just a minute before about how the ABC sucks, and then ponders...
Friendlyjordies, I've edited out all the swear words. I mean...
It was already bliffed, he's lying.
Again, these people can't seem... I mean, why can't they be like Sammy J? Sammy J is clever.
The guy with the puppet? I'm not knocking his act. I've never seen it. But the fact that this guy would be sitting at the front row of a kid's party clapping, yes, finger puppets. Now that's clever. Speaks volumes. Look at his example of intelligent humour.
I mean, we've got a bunch of comedians running around Melbourne again who are very, very clever, and they're taking the mickey out of themselves. Sushi Mango.
Which, if you don't know who that is, allow me to read out their blurb. After 2 sold-out tours of Star Wogs and Wogs Out of Work... Sushi Mango, fresh off a sold-out solo international tour, are set to hit the stage with their outrageously funny first Australian national solo tour, 50 Shades of Ethnic. So essentially what he's saying is, this Friendlyjordies is dumb. Wigs and silly accents. I want some real comedy stylings. Here we are. Wigs and silly accents. Take that, Oscar Wilde. Look, all I'm saying is, if you don't think I'm funny, you're 100% right.
Cliche.
No, seriously, this is a cliche, but humour's subjective. The only possible way you could be wrong on that is if you say I'm not funny, but then laugh at my jokes twice.
Nice to see you.
All right. Obviously, the impersonation of Barilaro is bordering on racist. Yes, I get that. But are we getting a little bit soft, and should we throw John Barilaro in the mix as well?
I know, because I have this argument with my parents about Trump all the time. He's going to respond with, I'm laughing at how silly it is. Yes, that's laughing at the joke, you dumb fuck. I don't take pleasure in the fact that you find me a humorous riot either, as your sense of humour includes laughing at the thought of 1 billion animals being needlessly incinerated.
Now, the videos come after Mr. Shanks posted a self-described friendly video with Miss McKay earlier this month, in which she accused the Premier of killing koalas and other animals during last summer's bushfires.
Now that's a hot joke. You see, she went to a lot of effort to do that. Isn't it astonishing we live in a world where the press will ask, is this voice offensive? But not even ask once if this is. Just joker thoughts.
When these people come on social media and they do their skits, and it's all wonderful with the sound effects and the swearing and all the rest of it to get a cheap laugh.
No, don't you knock sound effects for a cheap laugh, Marcus. If your producer put over the top of you a maybe more than one person on earth would be excited that your podcast has been released.
We really shouldn't be taking people like him seriously. Again, I ask the question, Jordan, what are your qualifications?
Glad you asked, Prawdy. I have a degree in international politics, so I guess that's what qualifies me to discuss politics. Though I wasn't aware you needed a degree to read reports and articles and relay that information with... You know what question I think should be asked? Why is the man whose self-appointed mantra is, I don't want to tell you what to think, I just want to help you to think. Yet it has never occurred to this critical thinking Mr. Miyagi to ever ask what John Barilaro's qualifications are to lead a state. Because they are, and this is not a joke, currently working towards completion of Cert 4 Frontline Business Management, but I couldn't finish it because I defunded the TAFEs. Now hang on, before you judge him, that's not all. I have another bullshit Cert 4 Housing Diploma and Cert 4 in Construction and Building Services. But will this District 9 refugee ever ask John Barilaro why his Cert 4 in Housing qualifies him to put 1,000 species on the endangered list and increase land clearing by 1,300%? Everyone knows you need lumber to build housing, Stooge.
You're certainly allowed to have an opinion, but is it a qualified opinion? What research have you done?
It's pretty obvious what research I've done, as I link all the sources in the description. You would know that, again, if your research included clicking the mouse once.
What research have you done, apart from perhaps reading a press release sent to you from the Greens and Labor?
I give these people too much credit. Alright, let's put aside the fact that he thinks the Greens and Labor release press releases together, as that is shockingly the least idiotic part of that sentence. The fact that you accuse me of doing no research other than reading Labor and Greens press releases when your only source, critical thinking extraordinaire that you are, is a very thinly veiled press release from John Barilaro. That's essentially all that Telegraph article is. And yet you ask your audience to ask the exact question that John Barilaro wants them to ask.
Do you think it's offensive, this sort of satirical look at our leaders?
You were outsmarted by a man whose most distinguished degree is a Cert 4 in housing. What qualifies you to get your audience to start thinking?
Well, we've been having this debate, haven't we, about political correctness and whether or not people should be taking offence to everything. I mean, please remove this post because it might cause offence. It's a meme we put up on our Facebook page over the weekend that's been shared a fair few thousand times.
Just a bit short of a few thousand times, Marcus. It actually got shared 58 times. And yet he then goes on to say...
Because I think what Mr. Barilaro has done by coming out in the media and calling this bloke out, all he's done is fuel the fire and give this bloke some extra attention, just like I'm doing here this morning, I guess.
If anything, it's the other way around, and you're welcome. Your station is so irrelevant it doesn't even register in the ratings anymore. And Marcus, you ready to have your ego really shattered? You're so irrelevant that the only reason I'm talking about you is to advertise that I'm going to be responding to John Barilaro's assertions on Friday, you prawn that is a pawn. Having said that, I'm in two minds about this one, Prawny. After all, you did laugh, you admitted you like Star Wars, so how could you not like me? I'm f***ing Star Wars in monologue form. You're a fan, shut up and subscribe. If you do, I'll send you a nice shirt that we'll have coming out with the Barilaro vid that you could wear in friendly humiliation, just like you did when your footy team didn't win. Wasn't that fun, Marky? You might even be able to say that one of your posts actually got thousands of shares. And to prove I'm not bluffing, like this video if you'll go and like a photo of Marcus Paul wearing a Friendlyjordies shirt making fun of John Barilaro. And just imagine it, Paulie, when John Barilaro says, I cannot believe how offensive this is, you can send him that post meme you think is so very dank and everything will be just as it was. Just like a clever comedy. Become a fan, you joke. Like the video.
Please share and comment below. Comment.
And if you don't like this Friendlyjordies guy and you don't think he's funny, then don't watch his stuff. That's probably the best answer to all of it, because I think what Mr. Barilaro has done by coming out in the media and calling this bloke out, all he's done is fuel the fire and give this bloke some extra attention, just like I'm doing here this morning, I guess.